All right, welcome back here to the Daily Fix with your host, Ron Hughley. We are live here, New Orleans, Super Bowl week. We are here and enjoying the festivities. We appreciate you for jumping on with us. Every day, you guys have helped grow this show and grow Foolish Club Media. We appreciate you. So however you're taking a stand, salute to you. This is, as I said, the Daily Fix every day, 12 Central Standard Time. Let a friend or six know. And right there in that little box where he rightfully belongs, say hello to the people, Steve.
Hi.
There he is. Steve Surt is in the building. Again, as I said to you all, if you have not, please head to our YouTube channel, Foolish Club Media. Like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe so you can be a part of this. Help us grow. Get all of the info you need. Brian's World, great podcast, comes out today. Show and BK will come out later this week. Beach season, Chief Concerns, everything we have. We got a big, extra big pregame show getting ready for you in lieu of the Super Bowl. And then obviously the thing you all watch as much as anything on Foolish Club Media, the postgame show with Steve Surt and Rocky. So stay tuned for that. Like and subscribe. Remember, if you do not do so, you are preventing my 3 children from eating. Let's go here. Not going to hold you too long today. I got to tell you about this story. And Surt, you can maybe help me. I feel off. I don't feel awful, but I feel like I didn't do the right thing. I had a situation with an Uber driver. I feel like I didn't do the right thing here in New Orleans. We'll tell you about that. Big news. We talked about Travis being back. He's not the only one that is talking about being back. An announcement already made. We'll get to that. But I want to start here with the man you see right there. Give me my 2 minutes, Steve. We talked about a lot of people, and they all deserve it. We talked about, and I do think the number one thing I would say that has changed this offense, and I think this team, we talked about it on Monday, Joe Tooney, but the rise of this guy, the rise of Xavier Worthy has changed this offense. Surt, you tell me if I'm wrong here. Here down the stretch, Xavier Worthy has been the most consistent and their best skill player in like the last 2 months. Like it feels like not maybe he hasn't had the best game. Like Travis has had a better game than he has. We've seen Kareem Hunt have some big games, score touchdowns, big moments. Hell, we've seen Noah Gray have multiple touchdowns. We've seen them, but nobody has been more consistent and been this is their best weapon thus far. And Steve, the crazy thing is, I don't even think we've seen Worthy, at least statistically, have just that breakout game. His most yards was 85, and that was last week in the AFC Championship game. And a lot of that came from that ridiculous catch that was ruled a catch that he made late in the second quarter. But that's his high. And it as I said, he's been consistent. He's been really good, right? This has been like the growth that we saw from Rashid Rice last year. But they got one more game to go. And the crazy thing is, Steve, we've just not seen a damn Xavier Worthy just went off game yet. And I think the ceiling is still rising right now to where we haven't seen his best. It feels like, Surt, he has been this close to just having one of those 150-yard games and multiple touchdowns. So Xavier Worthy, to me, is this team's best weapon offensively, and I don't think we've seen. I think maybe Travis's game against the Texans right now might be what he can bring to the table. Right, that might be his ceiling today. I don't think we've come close to seeing what Worthy's is.
Yeah, and I think some of it is a little bit by design, where down the stretch we saw the Chiefs really start deploying Worthy in a different role than what they had been using him in all season long. It's really more it's a lot more of the Rashid Rice role. Like it's the short intermediate stuff, screens designed to just get him in space and let him utilize his speed. Whereas like Rashee Rice, it was like get him in space, let him break tackles and pick up yards after the catch. And so they're kind of similar roles where it's not the deep down the field stuff. It's not trying to stretch the field. It's more just get him into space in the short intermediate area and let him utilize his speed. But I still think we're going to see something. Like we've seen them taking some deep shots, and they had Justin Watson a few weeks ago, and then Hollywood Brown's been really close to coming up with a couple of these big ones. And it's like if they could just get Worthy once. We've seen all of the incompletions this season where Mahomes like just missed him, but he was there and he had it. Like if they can just get it once, he's gonna have a monster game, and they've got one more opportunity to really figure that out. But either way, I mean, I think as long as he finds the end zone and has an impact somewhat in Sunday's game, it's going to be good for the offense overall.
And sort of, doesn't it feel like we saw him? It's not like early in the year it wasn't open, as you just said. They've missed. They've just stopped it, Steve. Like they haven't even, as you said, the way they've deployed him is just get the ball in his hands and let him run after the catch. They've just stopped it. Doesn't it feel like Andy and them would just be waiting and trying to lull you to sleep on what it is that he is, and then pop? Because it's not like when they were trying to use him just as a downfield threat, he was coming wide open often. Yeah. They just couldn't connect. It does feel like they just said, all right, man, we're going to just look like this for about 6-7 weeks with him. And then bam, pop. Yeah. It feels like it's coming.
It's the Chiefs have also done that in the past.
Yes.
Like hey, we're going to show you this because this is what you're going to see when you look at us on film, because we expect you're probably not going to go back to week 2 of the season and break down games. You're going to go back to what we've done recently. And then, pop, 60-yard touchdown to Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, so we'll see. But I think there's still some left there. All right. The great Andy Reid. Andy Reid has already expressed this week that he is going to return for the 2025 season. So Andy Reid will be back next year. And to me, I think obviously Travis will too. So the band will be back. And to me, I think overall for the NFL, this is great, because when you have a team that is a team that people are chasing for, it's a good thing for the sport. But I know the league is looking at this and thinking, damn, when are they going to slow down? Like, when are they going to come off this thing? Because you can look at it. And Pat's, 28, 29? He ain't going nowhere for a while. Like, you can see it. You can clearly see the way that Pat has transitioned his game. His game will grow with age. You're just hoping, will it just be another, 8 years and not another 10 or 12 years? I think around the league. But to me, the space in which the Chiefs can have a field to come back to the pack is whenever Andy retires, right? I don't think this is going to be, unless Andy surprises me, I don't think this is going to be a Belichick Brady 20 years together type of thing. I don't think Andy has another 11, 12 years in him to keep going. But I do think that is the point, because for the league is the Chiefs have such an advantage. I mean, in many games they play, sort of, it is the gap of the Grand Canyon. Like coming up Sunday, they have a huge advantage at head coach, and they do that every time. And it's not just an advantage at head coach, but it's the guy that works with the best player in the sport. So I know the league is counting down how many more you got, because that to me is going to be the next time that the Chiefs are really faced with, all right, shoot, how do we keep this thing going whenever Andy does hang them up?
Yeah, I think winning is really fun. And as long as the Chiefs continue to win and be this juggernaut of a team and organization, I don't think Andy Reid's going to retire anytime soon. Like,
I mean, he's not going to go for 10 years. Certainly.
I mean, yeah, but the Raiders just hired Pete Carroll, and Pete Carroll's older than Andy Reid. Like, I think barring some kind of like health issue or something like that, Andy Reid still loves the game of football. He still loves coaching. I mean, Belichick just went to college. Like, these guys just have problems stepping away, and I feel like we're nowhere near Andy Reid stepping away from football.
How many years? How many years do you think Andy? He's 66 right now.
Well, right now he's signed through 2029. So I would say he's at least going to get close to the end of this contract before he even considers retiring.
Really? You think he finishes it? You think he potentially finishes the contract? 2029. Damn. I don't know. I do think it's a year-to-year thing with Andy. Andy doesn't come off to me like, and maybe I'm wrong because hell, he never took a break from Philly to Kansas City. But it doesn't seem like him and Tammy just need this. Or like it seems like it's a part of Belichick's life. I mean, he's dating a 21-year-old. This seems like this is part, and Pete's just this is just Pete. So I don't know. We'll see. I hope. I think it's good for everything if he does. All right, sir. I had and I know you're a lover of New Orleans, and I had a questionable situation with an Uber driver. We were going back to the spot that we're staying. And Steve, I've got the comfort. I've got the comfort one. You know, that ride's about about $1 more. I went ahead and hit that thing. I said, hey man, let's go ahead and do this, man. Shoot, I ain't paying for it. And I hit the comfort thing and it comes with a code. Got to give him a four-digit code when I get in. Pulls up. He has a small dog in the console. It's 3 of us, so I have to ride in the front. And we get in, and it smells like a dog has just been running around in the rain outside and then just came in. Yeah. And a Honda Accord. And now the dog, I know you're a dog lover. The dog was fantastic. Didn't do anything. Just hung out, stared at me a little bit. It was a little uncomfortable trying to put my seatbelt on as he was sitting right there in the middle. But it just sat there and rode there, and the smell was there, and us in the car were texting each other. Have you ever ridden in an Uber or a Lyft or anything with a dog in it? I'm like, no, this is ridiculous. And we get out of the thing, and it was the worst experience I've ever had in an Uber. Like, I've had some talkative guys or ladies, and I'm like, I don't want to talk with it. But this I was almost uncomfortable because I didn't know what kind of dog this was. Was he going to strike? What was it? She going whatever? And the smell was horrific. But I just get in my head sort of about, messing with people's money. And whenever I don't like an Uber drive or ride, I just don't give any kind of rating. Usually I give 5s. I don't give it. I didn't give this guy a rating, but I felt like I should have. I felt like I should have given him the lowest thing possible with a strongly worded message to go along with it. And I feel like there's a line to cross of, hey man, I don't want to mess with nobody's job, but I also don't want anybody else to experience that. And I think I dropped the ball.
I don't know. Maybe it's like an emotional support animal or something for this person, but I would definitely
stop driving Ubers.
Not enjoy that. Like, I love dogs, but when I get in an Uber, I just like you. I don't want to talk to people when I get in an Uber. When I ride in Ubers, I usually put in AirPods before I get in to discourage talking to me because I just want to get where I'm going. I don't want to have a conversation. But I don't know. I don't ever rate them. I don't give them 1 star. I don't give them 5 stars. I just don't rate Uber drivers because I get there, I go, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I just don't really leave a rating afterwards. I always skip that part of it, and I think that that's perfectly fine. Like, I've had some great Uber drivers, I've had some terrible ones, but I just don't ever put any effort into it outside of just trying to get where I need to go.
See, I want people to get their money. I just don't want to, it's just when it's bad, I don't. Like, I've gotten in cars where it smells like straight cigarettes, and I didn't give them a rating. But this one I felt like I should have. And you know what? I feel better about the emotional support thing. Maybe that's it. But no, your ass shouldn't be driving. And at the very least, you got to make sure that smell. And I bet you he's just so used to the damn smell, he don't think it ain't nothing. I want to know what that guy's ratings are. Leave your dogs at home. My mom and Courtney,